Hi there, my name is Daniel Dam and I'm a product manager within Mendix. Today in this 20-minute session I will tell you all about Mendix Workflow. This is an exciting new capability on the Mendix platform that enables developers of all skill levels to solve everyday business process challenges, both large and small. Let me start with a question. Have you ever been to a place where everyone else spoke a different language, one you didn't know? Even ordering a beer or a pizza becomes quite a challenge. I once found myself on a bus late at night in the city of Prague, not knowing if it was the right one, unable to communicate with the bus driver. I just didn't speak his language. I didn't even have the money to pay for the ride. Somehow I ended up where I needed to be, but that adventure could have ended up in so many different ways. We're all part of an adventure to improve the world, to change the way we live and work. Businesses everywhere need to digitize their processes, not just to gain operational efficiency, but also to serve the customer well in new, untried ways. The last few months have shown that inflexible manual processes can really impact the way we serve our customer, especially in these times of unexpected change. Digitizing processes sounds easy, but has been tried many times before, and it remains hard to crack the problem. A big reason for that is that people speak different languages. Business people, on the one hand, they speak in terms of customers, orders, tasks, processes, experiences. IT people, on the other hand, they speak in terms of data, logic, UI, security, scalability. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. We need everyone in the organization to do whatever it takes in their domain to serve the customer well. But it needs to be done together. The Mendix community for years has been able to bridge this gap, benefiting from a set of shared visual languages. Today I'm really happy to announce an addition to that set of languages, one specifically geared to build process solutions, digitizing processes, and also to drive intelligent automation of the business. It's Mendix Workflow. What if business departments could benefit from building and running and owning departmental processes themselves? And what if they could participate in the development of larger scale and more complex process solutions? And what if IT departments could use the power, the flexibility, the speed of the platform to build process solutions, simplifying those solutions considerably, and also become a relevant, flexible partner to the business? And if you are a professional developer, what if you could model a process in minutes, not days, benefiting from a set of state machines, state transitions, long-lived processes? And what if the business could understand what you were doing from day one? Imagine the amount of rework that could save. This is what Mendix Workflow is all about. What is it, you ask? Well, Mendix Workflow is, as I said, a new additional language, a visual language of the Mendix platform based on BPMN 2.0 standard, and it fully integrates with the existing languages on the platform. It also comes with an enhanced runtime that is able to interpret long-lived processes. It's available in Mendix Studio for citizen developers, and also in Mendix Studio Pro for professional developers. Also, it leverages optionally Mendix Data Hub for easy access to your enterprise data that's already in the enterprise. And lastly, it comes with a whole set of end-user experiences like an inbox, like a dashboard, and like management consoles to really speed up the process, but that are fully customizable at the same time. Enough talking, I think it's time to see it in action. And to do so, I'm going to introduce you to Sarah. Sarah is a team lead in the marketing department of a fast-growing company, and she is a little bit frustrated by the times each month when new employees start and they come in only to find that half of what they need is taken care of. There is a laptop, there's no phone. There is a phone and laptop and no desk. All that is frustrating her a lot, especially because it means a lot of ad hoc activities in the facilities and marketing department. Sarah knows how a simple app can bring a huge improvement. She's tech savvy and decides to give it a go. To do so, she's going to build an employee onboarding app. Let's start the adventure. To build her app, Sarah uses one of the available workflow templates that come with the product. In this case, she's using the employee onboarding template, which is fully extensible, and she gives it a name and hits Create App. This lands us into Mendix Studio, where we see 4 different steps inside of this template. One is a welcome message that gets sent to the employee. Then the manager needs to specify devices, IT needs to configure devices, and facilities needs to prepare the workplace. We'll now just configure the welcome message by giving it a subject and a body text. And then we will look into the details of the specify devices task, which is a task provided to the manager and user so that user actually sees a page, which is this particular page. It has several default elements, like an S&E part, a timeline part, a comments and attachments that comes out of the box, but also a part where we can interact with the data. The user can do that. In this case, we want the manager to also specify a laptop model, so we're just adding that to the page, showing how flexible it is to just interact with these pages as we are used to. We're selecting laptop here, which we don't have, so we're creating a new attribute. We see the full integration of workflow with the other languages of the Mendix platform. And we select the laptop model, and here we go. Now this should be enough. When we see how the complete button is configured, we can jump back to the workflow, and the workflow then knows, of course, to jump to the next step, which is IT. Then we're going to take a look at the main model quickly. Well, this is a central employee onboarding object that holds all the information on a particular workflow instance, like the name of the employee, but also the phone and laptop model chosen. Then, particularly, how do we trigger this workflow? This is done using a page filled by HR with a name and email, and then a simple button that says onboard this employee. Enough talking, let's just see this in action. So we're now into the running app, and we're logging on as an HR user who is going to onboard. Well, Sarah logs on as an HR user and basically decides, hey, let me just test this by adding myself. So I'm just adding a full name here, email address, and we're picking a first working day today, and we're starting the process. This has now triggered the workflow, and to check that, we actually go and switch to a different user, the manager, for example, who is the first one to, of course, specify tasks, specify devices. This is an inbox that comes with the product as well, again, fully extensible. You can click this and assign it to the manager, and the manager then selects, which devices the employee particularly needs. You can see all the pages. Oh, here we can also see the email coming in that we configured. Let's just dismiss that for now, and we could add attachments and notes, but we'll do that later. We click complete, which should have triggered the next task, which is of course for the IT user to start configuring those devices. Here we go, the task is there. We can pick it up by assigning it to ourselves. As an IT user, we see the data that we need. We don't need to add any data, just need to configure the devices. We could add data in terms of attaching a phone contract or placing a comment that, hey, this phone was ordered, but I configured a different one. And this is visible for all people that interact with the workflow as part of this process. I can simply hit complete, and then I'm back into the inbox. Facilities department, that user is next, of course, preparing the workplace. This gets Sarah thinking, because in today's world, working from the office is no longer a given. Actually, the majority works from home. Therefore, let's adjust the process to see what happens if people work from home. Particularly, we need a manager to specify, hey, does this person primarily work from the office? Yes or no? And this is a task that we drop into the workflow. We say, hey, the manager needs to do that. And then, of course, there's 2 options. One is yes, this particular person works from the office, but the other one is no, this particular person works from home. And therefore, work from office should follow the original process of preparing a desk, setting everything ready, but work from home should follow a different path. Now, let's just quickly create a page that comes with this specify location task that the manager should see. We can actually just create a new page, and we see 2 different templates that we could use for this. Let's just use the extended template that has all the default elements in it as well. And here we go. We land into the page. We can just adjust this as and when we think is needed. But we already see that the full name is there, but also the two outcomes are pre-configured, like working from office and working from home. Jumping back to the process, I'm now ready to fill the work from home outcome, and that, of course, when people work from home, we should actually ship the devices to them. So let's create a task for the facilities department to ship the devices there. So here we go, we choose facilities for this particular task, and we actually show a page to a facility to show them where they need to ship it to. There's a due date of a single day, you just saw me configure that. And now we ship the devices. We again choose a page template for that. And we can start working on this page, preparing it so that facilities knows what to do. Yeah, we know the name. The first day is useful because of course it needs to be shipped before that. So now we need to find the address or show the address to the facilities department so that they can ship the devices. To do so, I don't have the address. So let me just find it in DataHub. And when I type address, I see two hits. One is customer, the other one is employee, and this has been made available through DataHub so that I can use it without any friction in my app. So just selecting address has consumed this data service, and this is visible in the domain model. Here we see a purple entity showing it's an external entity holding a lot of information that I can now use as if it's my own. Let's just think how we can use that. First of all, let's make first day read only, but then also full name, of course, could now also be a reference to the actual employee name in the system that's already available. So if I search for name, I can see many other names in the landscape that I could drag in and just consume and start to use, but the one I already have is full name from the employee service. So I'm selecting that. And here we go. This has finalized this particular page, so I can jump back to the workflow. Now before previewing, I also of course need to adjust the starting page. This no longer is a free text input, but it can now be a selection from the actual employee that we are going to onboard here. And this means I can also select the email address from the data that's already available rather than typing it in. So let's take a look how that looks in the real app. We see the onboarding process we already have finished, but now we're adding a new one with the new logic. And this time we can actually select ourselves, so Sarah, it shows the email address, and we have a first working day. We just start the process now. Again, we go through the steps of all the different users. I've skipped ahead a little bit, and we now jump to the manager user that actually needs to specify the devices, of course. Well, assigning it to myself, I now have these two buttons, work from office and work from home. I select work from home in this particular case. This, of course, following our logic, should have created a ship devices task for the facility users. Here it is. I can open it up, and here I see the address that is available from the source system. I didn't have it before. I just dragged it in and it works. I can just complete the task, ship the devices, and that's it. A quick recap on what we have seen so far. We saw how a citizen developer is able to digitize a simple process using Mendix Workflow in minutes. We saw how easy it is to use templates and then adjust them and run them straight away in minutes. We also saw how an end user can use the inbox and other experiences that are readily available yet are fully customizable. And lastly, we saw how the feature doesn't just live in isolation, but actually optionally uses Mendix Data Hub to find and use the data that's already available in the enterprise. The result is a digitized process that the business department runs and owns. Two questions though. How do we move from digitizing a process to actually optimizing it? Because the real value of intelligent automation is optimization. Also, how do we, as a professional developer, move beyond the simple and straightforward apps? Let me show you. People use many apps already, and no one is waiting to use yet another set of apps to find out if they have tasks assigned to them and then execute them. This is why the Mendix platform optionally comes with a central task overview you can integrate into any app, showing you all the tasks that are assigned to you as a user from different apps. In this case, I could jump to the specify location page that belongs to the user task that lives inside the employee onboarding app, simply select the particular outcome for this employee, and then I'm led back to the application, completely different application I was using in my daily work, meaning I can focus my time. I could do the very same by just selecting one of the outcomes right here without even jumping to the app to need more information, therefore really focusing my time and optimizing my time spent. Secondly, what I want to show you is that the workflow capability comes with a workflow dashboard, and we can open that up from the Workflow Admin Center. And when I see this, we see a lot of data and insights about completed workflows, running workflows, also the ones that were late, yes or no, compared to their due dates, average handling times and task performance. I can even see that on a task level, drilling down to the amount of tasks that were late, their handling time and their performance. Then also selecting this per task type. So if I select, for example, configure devices, I see that there was one late in May, whereas when I switch, me being Sarah, to specify devices, Sarah sees that, hey, there were a lot of late specify devices tasks. What's happening? Well, she walks over to the managers and finds out that actually they use this task to check whether a company car is allowed or entitled to this employee and if there is one available. This is a lot of conversations to have in systems to check. This can be optimized. She asks a teammate to do that, a colleague from the IT department, to say, hey, can we merge these processes? This teammate just picks up Studio Pro. He has the exact same editor here. And what he needs to do is merge those processes, and therefore he's going to add a piece of logic that formalizes the step that managers take in terms of checking for a company car. Check company car. This selects a microflow that you can use to express any logic, as you know. And when we select this, I can already show you what this pre-configured microflow looks like, but this is just an imaginative example. You know, applying the CFO's secret sauce in any logic that you can think of, then checking, yes, was there a car allowed? If it was, using a REST service from the company car supplier to assign a company car. Now, of course, we need to check, was there a car assigned? Because if there wasn't, we need to trigger a process of ordering a new car to be added to the pool of company cars for this particular company. To do so, we add a decision, and it has a condition that says, hey, workflow context, which is that central data object holding the workflow data. Is there a car allowed? Yes. And if there is, was there a car assigned? If there wasn't, so if that's false, then we need to do something. So in the false condition, we don't need to apply for a new car, so that can continue as it is right now. In the true condition, we of course need to apply for a new car, which is a different workflow. So we're adding a call workflow object here, which basically triggers a workflow that can live anywhere. This time it's living inside my app, but it can be anywhere in the landscape. I can just trigger a workflow to request a new company car, thereby combining these two pieces of logic into one process. And then the process just continues as we saw earlier. Now, of course, Kate can still interact with this model. It's not a one-time starting thing. Studio is fully capable of reading the model even when it's implemented in Studio Pro. We can check the conditions here. We can go back to the microflow task and see, hey, what microflow was used to trigger this. And this is the full collaborative development that stays available throughout the software development lifecycle. What you've seen is what can happen when the world of process meets the power of the platform. This is not just another feature. This is the platform that makes the difference. What better way to improve a process than making use of the freedom and the speed of a platform, whether it's building user experiences that are consumer grade, whether it's extending logic of the app in whatever thinkable way. And those of you who know the power of microflows know what I'm talking about when I say they are fully integrated. Really, the sky is the limit there. Also, building your domain model visually, extending it through data catalog, then deploying your app in the cloud of your choice securely and in a scalable way. And all of this available to a broad spectrum of developers with tools that manage the software development lifecycle. This is what we mean when we say we are building a frictionless experience that abstracts away all complexity, yet provides full flexibility to customize the solution as needed. Intelligent automation really needs the power of a platform. Let me summarize. We started off by saying we're all part of an adventure. An adventure to improve the world, to change the way we work. We also saw that to do so, we need to overcome the hurdles of speaking different languages and unite to speak one common visual language to really solve that business need, to really serve that customer well. Mendix Workflow is the language you need to build those process management solutions and to drive intelligent automation. Better, faster, together. Thanks for watching this. I really hope you enjoyed it and enjoy the rest of your Mendix World experience.